Hi there, my name's Justin Nolan, and this is my diabetic story. To start, I was diagnosed about 16 years ago, about 8 or 9 years old, and when I was diagnosed, I remember my doctor telling me, "Don't worry, Justin, you can eat whatever you want, as long as you take insulin for it." And I took that as gospel. And as a kid, that meant, oh, I don't have to change anything. I can keep eating fast food and sugar and cookies and pizza and whatever I wanted. French fries, spaghetti, burgers, the works. And that's what I did. I ate whatever I wanted. And despite how much work I was putting into managing my diabetes, I was testing all the time. I was taking my blood sugar and taking my insulin all at the right time. Despite trying to do everything right, my blood sugars were still out of control. I was up with every meal, down with every shot, up with every meal, down with every shot, up with every meal, and down with every shot. It was a wreck. It was a mess, and it affected my mood. It affected everything. Diabetes was running my life, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't keep it under control. It got to the point as the years went on that I was starting to burn out because no matter what I did, my numbers sucked anyway, so why bother? And every time I went to the doctor, they'd either blame me for it, they'd say, "Oh, are you not checking your sugars enough? Are you not taking enough insulin?" They would do that, or they'd give me a scare tactic. In fact, one time, the doctor told me that if I don't get my blood sugars under control, then I'd be lucky to live to 40. Live to 40. That's pretty scary to hear as a teenager at that point. And that just made me feel worse. It didn't motivate me for any means. It wasn't any useful advice that saved me. And at that point, I really did just give up. I thought, well, I'm going to die young anyways. Might as well just live my life. And that's how it continued for a while. I got more and more depressed. The worse control I got, my numbers crept higher and higher and higher. I had a lot of suicidal thoughts. I thought of different ways that I could just end it now and not have to deal with it anymore. Because I didn't know what else to do. I had lost all hope. I had major depression, real nihilism about it all. And it just wasn't working out. It got to the point where my average blood sugar was probably around 250, A1C well and above 9, when I found the low-carb way. And that was about 2.5 years ago. I'm on Facebook, middle of the night, doing my thing because I can't sleep, and I get this random message from a guy named R.D. Dykman. And in that message, he tells me about Dr. Bernstein. He tells me about type 1 grit. He sends me some videos and some links, and being the curious cat I am, I looked into it, and it blew me away. Turns out, if I just cut out the carbs I've been eating so much, I can actually have normal blood sugars. I never even thought of that before. No doctor ever told me about low carb. Nobody ever told me about that. Nobody told me, hey, just stop eating the foods that are causing you so much issues, and you can have better blood sugar. Nobody told me that. It never occurred to me until I found these videos. And when I learned the truth, it was like an epiphany for me. It was something snapped in my head and made me realize, oh shit, this is actually the right approach. And so I took the plunge. I threw out all the bread and ramen from my house. I stopped going to these fast food joints that I frequented all the time. Instead of replaced those foods with meat and veggies and all those other low-carb goodies, and my blood sugar suddenly got better. It was a rough transition at first. I had a few lows starting out. I had to tweak my insulin regimen here and there, but dang, my blood sugars improved immensely, immediately. And I finally found a way out. I finally found a way to actually normalize my blood sugars with less effort than before, and avoid all the complications that I knew were coming at me. Complications like the fact that I look 10 years younger than I actually am, and am as short as a middle schooler, even though I'm 24 years old. Complications like the fact that I can't remember anything from my childhood. You know what that's like, not being able to remember your childhood at all? Those are some of the complications I faced because I didn't take care of my blood sugar as a kid. But now that I know the truth, I don't have to deal with those complications anymore. I can move forward knowing that my disease isn't going to get worse. It's not going to progress and kill me at 40 when I have no kidneys, no feet, and no eyes. It's a way out, a solution. And I finally found it. So when I got my A1C check before going low carb, it was about 9. Now, 2.5 years later, eating mostly meat, a little bit of veg here and there, it's at 5.5. Not perfect, by any means. It's not the most normalist blood sugar around, but dang is it significantly better without really doing much more effort. It's a vast improvement on my life. My mood's a lot better. I'm not depressed anymore because I know I'm actually going to live a long time. I can live a healthy life. And best of all, I feel like I have control again of my diabetes and, by extension, my life. If you're having this kind of struggle right now, where you're trying to manage your diabetes and it just isn't working for you, where you're up and down on this blood sugar roller coaster, and everything you do is failing you, consider the low-carb approach. Read Dr. Bernstein. Keep in tune with these videos I'm posting where I'll tell you more about it, or I'll act as a guide to get things going. And make the switch. I promise you, it is 100% worth it. Remember, as Dr. Bernstein once said, you deserve normal blood sugars.